Hello. AnimeXD channel bringing my 2.5D animation workflow. In this video I will show you the steps to make an animation. I'll call it 2.5D animation, because it will be with a 3D model. And it will look like a traditional 2D animation. Well, let's start by selecting the animation layout. Here we will use the 3D navigation window, the timeline, and the dope sheet. I will organize the windows to optimize my work. I will import a video that I will use as a reference to make the motion. Just drag it to the Blender. If the video does not appear, enable Extract Overlays. With the selected video we can modify several parameters. I will be adjusting the size to suit the camera. Now adjusting the object to be in front, and I adjusted the opacity. Here in this value I will be adjusting the duration of the video. Note that the video is now playing non-stop. This 3D navigation window I will be using to manipulate the bones. I will be hiding the video in this navigation window. I will also be adjusting the timeline time to be the same size as the sequence. With everything organized, let's start creating motion. For that I will activate the record button. So whenever you move, rotate, or scale a bone, you will already be registering the frame on the dope sheet. We can also record bone changes with the I key. After registering a few frames, we select all the frames to assign a constant animation. So that way we will get an animation in the anime style. For now I'm doing the keyframes of the sequence. And after I finish the whole keyframe process, I will move on to the in-betweens process. After a long time, we already have the key staff. We are going to select all the bones to assign a linear animation. I will show the reason to do this. Note that in linear the movement is automatically completed. Although some adjustments are necessary, but it already gives a great help to complement the missing frames. Now just register the frames, to have a fluid animation. By pressing I, the rotation, position and scale options should appear. In my case this option is not appearing, I don't know why. I must have disabled some option. So what I did was select all the bones with Ctrl+C to copy the pose. Advance in the frame I wanted and press Ctrl+V to paste the pose. And since the record button is active, it records the transformations of the selected bones. This process can greatly facilitate the creation of motion in the anime style. And as I said before, we need to make fine adjustments to arrive at the result. After several days working on this motion, we arrived at this result. From here I will update the poses. To match the reference animation of the transformation of the Sailor Venus Eternal. In this transformation we have a few different parts. But in general, Several pictures are the same. I finally finished. Do not forget, when you finish the motion, select all the frames and assign constant animation. After all, the anime has a more animated animation. In a next video I will explain more about that. Now I will show you the adjustments and rendering settings. For the camera, I am using these settings. The camera should be 150 to 170 mm in a lens. The camera sensor can be the default value. The higher the lens value, the closer to anime style. That's because the perspective camera causes a lot of deformation in the character, especially on the face. The orthographic camera would be more appropriate, but as you can see, it changes the entire view of the scene that we had already set up. So let's keep all the values and the camera in perspective. In the icon that looks like a television, we will configure the rendering. Starting with the engine, we will use Eevee. In rendering I will use the minimum value. In viewport the value is 0. We mark normal high quality in performance. Shadows, I'm using the value from 4096 to 4096, and I marked high bit depth. Film, I left the minimum value, 0, and marked transparent, because I want renders with the alpha channel. And the filter serves to apply anti-aliasing when rendering by Eevee. The higher the value, the stronger the anti-aliasing. I'm going to use it at 0, because I don't want anti-aliasing at all. Here I marked the simplify to be able to make the motion without crashes. Because my processor is a 3rd generation i5, and it ends up being slow. To render the frames I will deselect. Or you can leave it checked, more than you will have to increase the value of max subdivision in rendering. In grease pencil we have nothing to render. In color management I only changed display device to sRGB. Now on the icon that looks like a printer, I will configure the output resolution. I will use HDTV 1080p. Configure the starting frame and ending frame. Configure the output folder and the format. I will use PNG. I will use RGBA, because I want the alpha channel, and transparency in the renders. The compression value will not change. Now, I'm going to show you how to configure the composition. as there is a part where she is without clothes and another part where we already have the clothes. I will need 2 layers of rendering, to render and separate folders. It will be good to have all objects separate, and within collections. For this I will create other layers. The first I will name Minako. I will create a second layer. The one with the name of clothes. In the clothing layer, I will enable the visibility of only the collection where the clothes are. And the others will disable everything. In the case of the video, I think I did it inverted. But the idea is, in one layer, to leave only the collection where the body is and the enabled transformation pen. And on the other layer, leave only the collection where the clothes are enabled and the other collections disabled. So it will be like this, layer clothes. I hope you understand. Now in the composition layout, I will show the nodes that I will use to render the layers. As I said, I will need one rendering with the clothes and the other without the clothes. In this case, I'm creating a third layer here where all collections will be rendered. I'll just leave the layers where the non-renderable objects are disabled. I'll start by adding the nodes. Shift+A to open the menu. I'm going to add the node first, render layers. Now in output, we are going to add all the output nodes. The first file output, the second composition, and the third viewer. I will create a specific folder for the renders. Now with Shift+D I will duplicate the render layer node. In one of them we are going to configure the Minako layer. And on the other node we are going to configure the clothes layer. I will duplicate the file output node. And each one must be connected in the way I am showing it. This node scheme also works perfectly to render separate compositions in folders. The next step is to configure the slots. In layout rendering, this is where we are going to make this configuration. We will use two slots. The first I will configure the layer, Monaco. In slot 2, I will configure the layer, clothes. Now just render the animation with Ctrl plus F12. With that we have three different renders, one where we only have the character, another with the outfit, and the third full. In the next videos, I'll show you how to make this animation in Clip Studio Paint. Import, retouch and make special effects in After Effects. And then bring the final result. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'm waiting for you in the next video.